Okay, so this is what liquid metal looks like after about a month and a half of being untouched on a naked GPU die, and copper heatsink obviously. So this is a P870 DMG by Clevo, desktop chipset in here, so there's a 6700K Skylake under there and two 980Ms NSLI. So this is what it looks like. There was still a little bit of pull if this decides to focus at all. There we go. You can see in the center here you've got a bead of liquid metal still there. Still looks like a nice shiny drop. And what I can see with my eye, but maybe the camera's not picking it up well, is that it's looking a bit dry around this bottom half. There's still a couple of beads up here on the top and on the right that indicate there was still good contact with the heatsink, and you can see the heatsink was on like that. So top of the heatsink you've got a nice another little beaded droplet, and in the center. So it looks like there's been plenty of liquid metal up the top half of this chip, still making a good contact. And if this decides to focus, come on, you can do it, come on. You can see down the bottom half it was looking a bit dry, and I suspect there might not have been very much contact there. Come on. Wow, the autofocus on this camera sucks. And I don't have an ability, because if I touch the screen it just wants to take a photo instead of actually do something useful. So stupid camera, what's the point of recording in 1080p when it's bloody blurry? Anyway, I'll give up with that one. So here's the second one. So this has still got a bit of bite too. And there we go. All done with one hand. Not bad. And there, right, you can see a nice big dropletty looking flat beaded bit there, and one on there too. So this is the master GPU, and it almost looks like it's got an air bubble trapped in there, but that would just be from lifting it off, I reckon. So that looks like it's had really good contact. What I was observing, the core temperatures were fine. It's these ruddy thermal pads that I think I've been having issues with, causing some black screening under load. But the core itself on these didn't go over 70 even when fully loaded. The slave in this, the fan here is slightly weaker, and it generally runs, most people say about 5 degrees up to 10 degrees warmer than the master card here. But the actual core temps were fine. So when I had to add a little bit of liquid metal about a month and a half ago, it was looking very dry. Kind of like this slave one looks dry on the bottom here, but it was looking dry almost all over the die. And so the good thing about this liquid metal is that I just added some to the beaded parts, as you can see there. So you get the fine needle tip that comes with the applicator, and you'd add a little bit into that bead, and I just mixed it around a bit more, which I'll do now to spread it all out. And it actually kind of mixed everything back together in a homogeneous mixture. It wasn't like thermal paste, which if you tried to do that, not only would you introduce a whole load of air bubbles, but you'd have some dry chunks and some still pasty chunks, and it just wouldn't work very well. But I guess this shows you can actually add more new fresh liquid metal to some used stuff that's sitting on your die. I was nervous not to add too much the first time I did this. You can see I've taped off all those little resistors around the actual die, and I haven't gone all the way to the edge because of course liquid metal is conductive, and you don't want to be causing something to short, because these boards aren't cheap to replace, even though each one has about the power of a desktop 970. Still, you know, hundreds and hundreds of bucks each to replace, so I don't particularly want to destroy them. Yeah, so that's what liquid metal looks like when you take it off after it's been used for a couple of months. And this, by the way, is Thermal Grizzly Conductor Naught. Yeah, which I'm pretty happy with, so, yep.